the bear market. And if we want to be sarcastic and funny, we can say scary bear. Scary, scary bear. Because the bear market, the stock market's down 20%. So he said he lost $200,000, so he had $1 million in his 401k. Last caller, probably. Somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And he hasn't lost $200,000 unless he sold it. Because there's two types of gains. There's recognized and realized. Recognized is I recognize that my balance is down, but until I sell it, I didn't lock in the losses.
It hasn't become reality.
It is not realized. We're just recognizing. And from tax purposes, we use that terminology, accounting purposes, but it also is kind of a factual thing that, like during the drop of 2008 and the market went from 13,000 to 6,500, it went in half. It went down 50%. People were interviewing Warren Buffett. Mr. Buffett, didn't you just lose $83 billion? And he said, no, I didn't lose anything.
Haven't sold anything.
Hadn't sold anything. It's just riding down and ride it back up. Mm-hmm. And of course, it went down from 6,500 to 13,000 and then back to 39,000
Wow.
From there, 3x above. So turns out Mr. Buffett was right.
To
yet
both
again.
the stock market and the real estate market, perspective is what keeps you from making poor decisions. So when
Good
you look
point.
at that perspective and go, oh, it went back up to 39%, probably should have stayed in the market.
$39,000. Yeah. When you pan back and you see history, it can calm you down. That's a good thing to do. It helps me. And so let's talk about actual history and data on bear market. So bear market is any time that the stock market goes down more than 20% in value, which we're in the middle of a bear market. Since World War II, post-Great Depression, there have been 14 bears.
It's a lot of bears.
Yep. We've had a bear problem. So, and the average length of a bear market during those 14 is 13 months, and the average time to recover back to ground zero, back to where it was before the decrease started, is about 24 months, 26 months, 23 months. I've read 3 different articles, so, but it's right in there, right around 2 years. And so, if we go back to the first of the year, which is where we're measuring the decline from, and you go out 2 years from January 1 of 22, that'd be January 1 of 24. The average is it will have recovered by then.
Wow.
Which means that there's a chance it will recover sooner, and there's a chance it could recover later. That's the average of 14 different events. And so you've got a lot of actual data to look at.
The chances of this one being drastically different, I don't see that happening.
Well, it's not as extreme as 2008. And, of course, the more extreme it drops, so far it's not. The more extreme it drops, the longer it would take to recover, typically. It would, unless it just shot back up due to some kind of a magical economic pill or something. But, so here's the story. You're 52 years old, and you're panicking because your retirement lost 200,000 of your $1 million. I don't know how old that guy was. I'm making this up, okay? At 54, you'll be back, on average. Chance you'll be back by 53. Chance you'll be back by 55. The chances at 65 of you being down based on historical data are precisely 0. Calm your butt down. Okay? That's what that says. I'm getting ready to be 62. I'm not going to be using my money that's in the stock market in my 401k or my other mutual fund investments, maybe ever, unless I used it to buy some real estate. But I mean, so I easily can let it sit there till death, and
you'll be okay.
But I mean, the chances of me statistically, I'm healthy at 62, zero medication, on average, moderately good condition. On average, the actuarial tables say I'm going to live to 90. Okay, so I've got 28 years to ride this out, not 28 months. So I'm real comfortable with putting more in right now while it's down because it's on sale if you keep that perspective.
And you've got a long-term vision.
And, so you pan back, like you said, perspective gives you hope. People lose hope when they lose their perspective. And the joke that we always used was one of my daughters didn't get asked to the prom by one of those boys. And that night, it was a long night. There was wailing and gnashing of teeth. It was so very sad. And her mother and I were supposed to go in and comfort her in her moment of heartbreak, but we were having trouble not laughing in the hallway.
Because it was
outside
so
of her
dramatic
bedroom.
that it was funny?
Well, because we've been to our 20-year class reunion, and we know when she sees him, then she'll be glad. We have the perspective of time, right? We know that this heartbreak is not the end of the world, although it is the end of the world for her at this moment. But she does not have the perspective of time because she's a newbie.
Can you tell us which daughter this, or is
No,
this private? Oh.
not a chance.
I'm just going to guess it was
No,
Rachel.
no,
Just a
it's-
guess.
No, I have a great poker face, George. I'll never reveal that. It was bad enough that I told the story to start with.
That's fair.
But the point being, you lose perspective. When you lose perspective, there's a good chance you lose hope. In order to think that the world is coming to an end, you have to have a fairly short window that you're looking at, because there's no long-term window data that indicates that. Only the panic of the moment, the flavor of the week here at Baskin-Robbins. But, that's what we're dealing with, right?
Yeah. And when you look at the data, you kind of get what you're looking for. If you're looking for panic, you'll probably find it in the headlines, and you'll probably find doomsday. But if you look at the charts and the graphs and history, and you live your life by these principles, you can kind of just breathe easy. The weight's not there when you start looking for that.
If you're in Bitcoin, there is reason to panic.
Absolutely. I could tell you stories for days, Dave. The really sad stuff happening with the crypto bros out there.
The crypto bros they're hurting.
They were declined
Are we
for prom, let's say.
We're going to...
There's the analogy.
They've been rejected.
Throwing temper
No
tantrums.
date for the prom.
Sorry, crypto
Crypto
bros.
bro, no date for the prom.
I don't think they're going to prom, Dave. They're not the type.
It's sad. We need to form a support group for them.
We should. A Dave Ramsey Crypto Bro support group. Make that happen, guys.
I would think that one would sign up. Maybe one.